The Galnari pride themselves on understanding hierarchy. Their entire society functions on a precise system of command chains, where information and orders flow from the top down with mathematical precision. This understanding extended to their interactions with other species across the galaxy. After centuries of successful diplomatic missions, the Galnari developed a proud reputation for quickly deciphering the command structures of any newly encountered civilization. This was why Ambassador Telner felt so confident upon the first official meeting with humans aboard the multi-species diplomatic vessel, Harmonious Exchange. The human hierarchy appears straightforward, Telner reported to the Galnari High Council via secure transmission. They wear different colored uniforms corresponding to departmental functions. Rank insignia are clearly displayed on collars and shoulders. Their communication patterns follow predictable chains of command. The High Council was pleased. Humans, while newcomers to the interstellar community, controlled valuable resources and occupied strategically important territory. A clear understanding of their command structure would be invaluable for negotiations. They even brought their leader, an older male called Captain Wilson, and his second-in-command, First Officer Reed, Telner continued. The pattern fits perfectly with our sociological models. 2 weeks into negotiations, everything proceeded as expected. The humans were polite, if somewhat informal by Galnari standards. Telner had identified each crew member's place in the hierarchy and could predict with reasonable accuracy who would speak to whom and in what order. Then came the incident that shattered all Galnari assumptions. It began with a routine meeting in the ship's conference room. Captain Wilson was discussing trade routes with Telnar when the ship suddenly lurched. Alarms blared throughout the vessel. Hull breach detected in Section 7, announced the ship's computer. Decompression in progress. The room erupted into controlled chaos. Wilson immediately reached for his communication device, but before he could activate it, a voice cut through the commotion. Everyone freeze. The command came from a small, unassuming human that Telnar had barely noticed during previous meetings. According to Telnar's notes, this human, called Doc by the others, was merely the ship's medical officer. Based on uniform and insignia, Doc ranked significantly below Captain Wilson and several others in the room. Yet what happened next completely upended Telnar's understanding of human hierarchy. "Captain, stay where you are," Doc ordered, pointing directly at Wilson. "You too, Reed. Nobody moves until I check radiation levels." To Telnar's astonishment, the captain immediately complied, lowering his communication device without protest. "The breach is near the antimatter containment field," Doc explained, pulling out a small device and scanning the room. "If we've got radiation leakage running around, will just spread particulate contamination throughout the ship." First Officer Reed started to speak. "But protocol states, protocol can wait until I confirm we're not being irradiated," Doc interrupted without hesitation. "I don't care what the manual says." Telnar was stunned into silence. A lower-ranking officer had not only given direct orders to the ship's highest authority, but had openly contradicted established procedure. In Galnari society, such insubordination would result in immediate removal from position, possibly even exile. Yet Captain Wilson simply nodded and said, "Doc's right. Everyone stay put until we get the all clear." After several tense minutes, Doc's device emitted a soft chime. "No radiation detected. We're clear, Captain." Only then did Wilson resume command, coordinating repair teams and evacuation procedures for the affected sections. The crisis was handled efficiently, but Telnar remained deeply disturbed by what had transpired. Later that evening, Telnar cautiously approached Captain Wilson in the ship's dining area. "Captain, I must confess confusion regarding the incident today," Telnar said. "Your medical officer gave you direct commands, contradicting your authority." Wilson chuckled. "Doc wasn't contradicting my authority. He was exercising his own." "Don't understand," Telnar admitted. "In your hierarchy, he is clearly subordinate to you." "Normally, yes." Wilson nodded, taking a sip from his cup. "But human command structures are flexible. In matters of health and safety, Doc has complete authority even over me. Just like our chief engineer has final say on engine operations, and our security chief can override me on certain security protocols. But then, who truly commands? Telnar asked, genuinely perplexed. I do, Wilson said simply. But part of commanding is knowing when to step back and let the experts do their jobs. Doc has specialized knowledge none of the rest of us have. Ignoring that expertise because of rank would be, well, illogical. Telnar struggled to process this information. So your chain of command shifts depending on the situation? Exactly. Wilson smiled. We maintain a primary structure for clarity, but we build in flexibility because reality is messy. Sometimes the person with the lowest rank might have the critical knowledge needed in a crisis. In the weeks that followed, Telnar observed the humans more carefully. The ambassador noticed countless small examples of this situational hierarchy in action. Junior officers would speak up in meetings without being addressed. The captain regularly sought input from all ranks before making decisions. Even more surprisingly, humans seemed to shift seamlessly between formality and casual interaction, without any apparent confusion about their relative positions. When Telnar filed the final report to the High Council, it contained an unprecedented admission. Human command structure defies our traditional models of hierarchical organization. Their system appears chaotic by our standards, yet functions with remarkable efficiency. They maintain a framework of formal authority while allowing situational expertise to temporarily override rank when necessary. This adaptive approach to leadership may explain how humans have advanced so quickly, despite their relatively short history as a spacefaring species. I recommend we reconsider our assumptions about organizational efficiency. The humans have much to teach us about the benefits of flexibility in command. The Galnari High Council received Telnar's report with mixed reactions, but one thing was clear. Humans would be more complicated and perhaps more formidable allies than anyone had anticipated.